Hola, buenos días, soy Nico.
This is not about a show. This is my life.
And today we're here to start off another wonderful week's worth of content. Well, yes, with another Nico's quick chat. Before we get started, if you like this kind of content, make sure to follow me on patreon.com/Nicosaesthetics for more exclusive videos, weekly live streams, and to be a part of the live streams where we have multifaceted conversations with a varied panel depending on the week, along with 200 plus exclusive videos that are only on Patreon. Nico, yes, my Patreon has been here for as long as my YouTube. I think my YouTube videos sit around 500 and I have 200 exclusive videos if you would like that. I think this week's video I'm going to be talking about Marco Paris. Nico, who is that? The wigger to the bone that got in trouble for calling himself, a real jigger. And then he decided to make amends for that by buying a random black family at Waffle House breakfast. So I don't know how he thought that would work, but he's recently come back into public discussion because he has been collaborating with more black performers. Though a lot of people still don't know about the toxicity that surrounds his name. So they are getting dragged after they work with him. And it's happened to two people I've known personally. So I'm just going to discuss it on Patreon. If that sounds interesting to you, definitely tune in. Nico, today we're going to be talking about one of the most popular and mainstream queer artists we have seen in a long time, which is Lil Nas X. Nico, what do you mean? In the past, queer artists that wanted to break through in the mainstream media used to have to stay in the closet. Luther Vandross, Elton John, George Michael, just a few names to give you an example. But as of late, Lil Nas X has been a pioneer of saying, no, I'm gay and I'm in rap. Did not expect his first album to be a pop album, if I'm being quite honest. A little bit too much singing for my taste because I prefer him as a rapper. But he is one of the mainstream LGBT artists of today, including artists such as Santana. As of now, Khalid, seeing as how he was outed by Hugo a couple of months ago. But we are focusing on Lil Nas X. Today, we're here to talk about how he is currently in the process of being sentenced to possibly years in jail. Nico, what do you mean? If you have not been keeping up with Lil Nas X, this past week, multiple videos began to surface of him being allegedly high off of substances and belligerent in the streets of LA. First, wandering around in nothing but his boots and underwear, and then finally nude.
Nah. Hey, don't be late to the party tonight.
Where at?
You know where it's at. Nah, go ahead, babe. Nah. Go ahead, babe. Nah. That's gonna be a beautiful sunrise. Give me that phone so I can throw it. I wanna throw it far away so you never see it again. I don't like phones. Don't miss the party tonight. Why are you still here? You need to be telling everybody about the party, girl. What's your problem?
Nico, what do you mean? And just from there, I immediately thought something must be wrong. He must be on something. He is out of his mind. He is saying, where's the party? Where's the party? Come to the party. And he's like not fully there. But unfortunately, because of his past and history of promotional stunts, a lot of people thought this was another promo or album rollout or a gimmick to get the eyes on him. If you do not know Lil Nas X's past, it would be hard to believe so. But he originally came out with Old Town Road, and once he came out as gay, he began to talk about the controversial topic of religion. Nico, what do you mean? He began to outwardly say, as a queer black person, I've experienced religion in a harmful way, and I'm going to make music and artistry about that. And I agreed with him. Nico, what do you mean? Growing up in a culturally mixed home in the South as a strict Catholic, I went through unimaginable trauma when I first got outed. So as someone who has been through it, I do believe we should save space for people to be able to talk about how things have affected their lives, seeing as how religion throughout history has not necessarily been used for good. Yes, some people use it to cope with the day-to-day of life, but for the most part throughout history, it has been used to dominate, inflict the church's will upon the people, and keep the masses willingly giving money to the church while also following their strict laws. Now, As a person who is currently agnostic but was raised all of my life as a Southern Catholic, I am very open-minded to people having their own beliefs. A belief is like an appendage. We all have one, depending, we all have different appendages, but it doesn't mean you should shove it down my throat if I don't want to participate, if that makes sense. So, when he originally began to talk about Christianity, I was like, okay, cool, work, because I've been there, girl. But then he began to come out with the blood Nike shoe with the 666 on it, and then when he tried to come back for his second album rollout, he led with a song called J Christ, where he was actually saying, I am critical over religion, but I am still seeing the light in it. I'm still seeing the good in it. But because he was making it into a joke and or meme, it was received very poorly by the public. So from there, Lil Nas X has had to try to rebuild his brand and basically come back and say, no, look, I'm making music. It's not related to a gimmick. It is actually good music. And he went on this run where he dropped a single every day for a week, and then he led off with his main single, Hotbox. The girls on Twitter, they were divided. Nico, but the girls on Twitter are always divided. It's an app of confusion, anger, and rage. Point is, the song did not do well. The GP did not connect with it because they were tired of Lil Nas X. So as of late, he has been on his grind mode. But if we look a bit further in the past, videos had surfaced of him clearly being high, allegedly. Nico, what do you mean? Like this video where he's talking about the album rollout and he's licking his teeth and his eyes are geeked out and his eyes are slightly red and he's just hyper energy, not really fully staying coherent. That's when we all should have known, but since he does have a quirky personality, it was easily mistakable for him just being weird online.
Hey guys, don't look at my furniture-less house, but I want to say, because I don't want you guys to feel like I'm being flaky and very all over the place, but I was for a long time, you know. These last few years were pretty difficult for me. They have been pretty difficult for me, and I'm just now like arriving to this place of feeling confidence in myself and what I'm doing, and I'm trying to make sure I put intention towards my music and my vision and the creativity of it all. And most of all, I really want to make sure I have fun this time around. I don't think I got to have as much fun during the Montero era because I was more overly focused on, I don't know, making sure the songs did well than making sure I was like having fun doing, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying I didn't have any fun. I had some fun, okay? But I want this time around to be even more fun, and I want to be like even more full of joy, and I want to be even more full of love, and I want to go out here in this world, and I want to wave my hands in the sky and move about freely. And that's what the Dream Boy era is gonna be. Hotbox is coming next. Fairly soon. I'm not gonna give you guys a date. I'm gonna announce it when I announce the date, okay? But I need you guys to stick beside me. We are coming, Monterey. We are coming. I have the songs. I have the music. I have the vision. You guys need to sit patiently. You've waited this far. We've waited this long. Let's keep going. Let's make this happen. Okay? I love you guys so much. I'm finna do my trust. Okay, bye.
So now that this video has come out, I originally said we should be showing empathy because when people were finding him in the middle of LA out of his mind, they were trying to make TikToks with him. They were recording him from their car. They were trying to make content off of someone who clearly needed assistance.
Can you do this dance with me? No. Let's take this picture.
All right. Where's the party?
But eventually the police were called. Nico, what do you mean? So all the girls that were saying, this is PR, this is promo, why would he be on substances? He lives in LA. Nico, he lives in LA. I'm gonna get back to the police in a second. As someone who has traveled the world, Nico, and that's not me saying I have like infinite knowledge about every city or location. Every city has their thing. Houston, alcohol and food. That's why when I lived in Houston, I was very much consuming a lot of alcohol and food. In New York City, it's alcohol, and sometimes people do substances, extracurricular, but it's rare that you meet someone that is like very pro hardcore substances, if that makes sense. The months I've spent in LA, them girls put every city I've been to shame. Nico, what do you mean? The entertainment industry will have you entertained, if you know what I mean. Because I remember I went to a party and I walked in and they were like, oh, we have pills if you need anything. I'm just sitting here like, bitch, I just walked through the door. What is going on? So in LA, that is very normalized and it's very easy to get swept up in that culture. Me personally, I have alcoholism in my family. So I did lean too heavy on alcohol for a little bit of my life. But I also have somebody in my family that struggles with addiction, so I never saw the joy and or excitement in doing hardcore substances because I know how easy it is to get hooked on them. As for Lil Nas X, to my knowledge, his mother also suffered from addiction. So addiction is really a mental illness. So once it's in your system, your body begins to physically crave it. Your mind begins to physically crave it. So that's why I purposefully never try anything too crazy because I'm like, girl, I don't need to be hooked on something and end up like this, unfortunately. So in this situation, people were saying that it was a PR stunt, but as of now, it has been announced Lil Nas X has been arrested and kept in confinement for the weekend. Okay, weekend passes, people are still saying it's promo, he's lying to TMZ. He just had his arraignment where he is possibly facing multiple years in prison for 4 felony charges, and one of them is assault on the officer that took him in.
Mr. Hill, you have a right to a speedy preliminary hearing within 10 court days of today, 60 calendar days. You understand and give up that right so your case could be set for preliminary hearing setting on September 15th with the understanding that any preliminary hearing occurred within 10 court days of that day?
Yes.
The scheduled bail for these charges is $300,000.
He has no prior convictions or failures to appear.
That's correct.
And do you want to be heard this?
I would, thank you, Your Honor. We'll be requesting an OR bond today. Everybody agrees that a bond of some sort that Mr. Hill should be released from custody today. The question is what conditions are necessary to ensure his appearance and the safety of the community. First, I'll address ties to the community. Mr. Hill owns a home just miles from this courthouse, and he has owned it for 4 or 5 years now. This is where he's made his life. His business dealings are all here. He records music in Los Angeles. His entire management team is in Los Angeles. So he has the support of his management team here. And in the courtroom today are members of Mr. Hill's family. They were here ready to support him with everything he needs upon his release. Mr. Hill is not a flight risk, Your Honor. And as to danger, before the court is a 26-year-old man with no prior criminal history, no history of violence. This man has never so much as gotten in a schoolyard scuffle. Assuming the allegations here are true, this is an absolute aberration in this person's life. Nothing like this has ever happened to him, Your Honor.
Has he ever involved himself in drug treatment programs?
He has not, Your Honor, and I actually know of no evidence that drugs were involved in this.
Well, the police report indicates so. Police report said he was sent to the hospital as a possible overdose.
That's correct, Your Honor, but we just don't know whether that was actually factually accurate or just some officer's hunch that was uncorroborated. We don't know what happened. I'm assuming they drew blood or tested him, so at some point we'll find out, but right now there's nothing in the record that drugs were even a part of this. And so this is just an aberrant episode and an otherwise productive life. To call his life productive, I think, would be an understatement. I think it's a remarkable life of extraordinary accomplishments. He's an artist who creates music that resonates with millions of people. He's won 2 Grammy Awards and countless other awards I couldn't even couldn't even tell you what they are. Time Magazine named him as one of the 100 most influential people a couple years ago. So this is a person who's a pillar of the community. And as cliche as that sounds, it's true for this person. I think an OR bond is absolutely appropriate here.
The money bail is appropriate. He knows that bail of $75,000. And if he makes that bail, he's ordered to not own, use, or possess any illegal narcotics, attend 4 NA meetings per week, or enroll in an outpatient drug program. So, Mr. Hill, do you understand and accept those conditions?
Yes.
Okay. So be in Department 112 on September 15th.
So I hope this, especially because we have the police court documents, I hope this shows y'all this is not a joke. This is not a PR stunt. This is somebody battling with addiction who unfortunately is in a city and industry that will continuously fuel and encourage said addiction. So as of now, Lil Nas X is currently waiting in prison for his court date, but it's unfortunate to see where he is today when he first started and had so much promise in his career. Because honestly, after the Jay Christ fiasco, I knew his career was up. If I'm being quite real, once the general public fully disconnects, especially because there are large amounts of Christians in the world, it's not going to be easy to win them back. And yes, Hotbox is a good song, but he fully began to lean into gay artistry and music, which is commendable as a LGBT member. But I'm also one of the realists that is very upfront. The general public does not connect well with gay commentary and or music and cinema. I think the most receptive thing I've seen that was gay by the general public was Moonlight. And that was a movie awarded by the Academy. Because even if we look at, let's say, bisexual female artists, such as Megan Thee Stallion or Kalani, who is a lesbian, their artistry is received by the general public because first, women can be still objectified in these manners, seeing as how men will fantasize about 2 women. They will not fantasize about 2 men. A lot of it is still digestible just to a general public because it sounds good and it's not too upfront. Same with Megan Thee Stallion. Occasionally she will drop a bar about being bisexual, but that has not become her mainstay. So when Lil Nas X not only begin to lean into his queerness, but also begin to change his style, such as presenting more feminine, because when he first came out, he was a butch queen, and then he went full femme queen, and people began to turn their backs, not only the general public, but also our community. So now that this has come out and he is possibly facing years in prison, I want to hear your opinions. I'm going to be showing you the videos. I don't know where I'm inserting them. I'm going to be putting them in throughout. But from here, it's up to you to decide. Should we use this as a learning lesson? Nico, what do you mean? Should we use this story as a way to continue to combat substances overrunning our community? Seeing as how I feel like it's becoming more normalized. Especially Tina, unfortunately. Because when it first came out, I'm not going to lie, it was one of the YT girlies, party substances. But as of late, it's overrun both the Black and brown communities, along with new substances constantly being introduced, such as G. Nico, what do you mean? We need to talk about G. I understand a lot of circuit girlies do G. I understand a lot of the regular girlies do G. Nico, what is G? It is essentially a... Nico, what do you mean? You are microdosing a date drug, which is basically putting you in this euphoric state. But if you drink alcohol while you're taking it, you will pass out. You don't understand how many people I've seen G'd out. Nico, what do you mean? When they become a zombie and they're just laying on the bench of a club, or when they're just laying on the side of the street after leaving the club, like, it's getting disheartening. And I want to be in a place from now on where I can enjoy myself while being sober, because I do enjoy my blunt. I enjoy my blunt at the end of the night. Nico, that's not going to change because what's from the earth is for me. But even now, I've cut out alcohol from my regular for the last 2 weeks. I remember I went out this weekend and I didn't drink a lick of alcohol. I mean, if anything, I just had my blunt every now and then. I'll put it in my little, tube. And whenever I needed a smoke break just to reset myself, I would do that. But it's not me being judgmental. That's not me being, oh, hootie tootie pick me. No, it's saying, girl, hardcore substances that alter your mind and change your life for the negative should not be encouraged and or endorsed. But with that being said, I'll leave the conversation up to y'all. Did y'all hear about this happening when this first began to roll out? Did you think that this was all a promotional PR stunt? seeing as how he is a stunt queen and has done stuff not similar to this, but around the same dramatic, attention-grabbing nature as this. But with that, I'll leave the conversation up to y'all, and I'll see you guys next time. But I'm going to leave one more comment. Nico, fortunately, being online, I've realized that the more visible you are, the more people are going to pay attention, not necessarily for your better. But after this recent situation where I talked about an assault victim being harassed and the ignorant masses, Nico, I'm not gonna lie to you, a lot of these people are ignorant, especially because they were the people that were harassing the victim, begin to come at me left ways. I'm like, you all lack emotional intelligence and maturity. I've realized that as someone who feels empathy for anybody who needs it, that is not normal for you. I've been educated enough to know that empathy is more of a social construct that people reserve for the people in their community. Seeing as how people, if you do not think and act exactly like them and fall in line with the way they want you to, they will not feel empathetic for you. So when I came online and I said it's wrong to harass a victim, the people that were harassing him felt like I was coming at them left ways because he doesn't deserve my empathy because he slept with a white person. So why should you tell me that it's wrong to harass, berate, and attack somebody who is a victim of? And that's where I realized there's no use talking to you. Nico, there's no use trying to explain myself. There's no use trying to combat any rumor or lie you make up about me. Girl, if you say it, you got it. I don't care that much. So I'm going to take the Beyonce approach. I'm no longer interacting with you. Nico, I understood from the beginning that this is all more so people wanting interactions and wanting to get your attention because they don't naturally get it because either they're boring, they're not your type, they don't interest you socially. But I'm just going to let you talk to yourselves. The end. Boop.